Hello everyone, today I will explain 5 technical questions from the CCNA exam. First, let's look at the first question, which is about spanning trees. We have enabled this spanning tree function on the link between the switches. This particular profile function essentially means giving up the election process. That is, it involves giving up the spanning tree election itself. In this situation, if I actually enable this feature on the interface, then I am essentially giving up the election. Giving up the spanning tree election means that a layer 2 loop will be created, right? Once the data arrives, it will be sent to the second switch, then this one will send it to the next, and then it will send it back again. After the data is sent, the broadcast packet will be sent this way, right? It will also be sent the other way, and then sent further along, and this process will keep looping between them. What does this lead to? A broadcast storm. So for this question, the correct answer is D. Choose D. All right, let's look at the second question. The second question actually doesn't involve much technical content. It just asks, when we're using QoS, which level should we choose? That is, when deploying voice services, wireless voice services, which level should we select? Of course, you should choose the highest level, which is the platinum level. So there's really no suspense for this question. Just pick A. You see, the correct answer is A. All right, on to the third question. The third question involves some calculations. It's a diagram and it involves base conversion. For this question, we're supposed to look at the diagram and determine, based on the diagram, which switch will be selected as the root bridge. Now, just by looking at the diagram, we definitely can't tell which one is selected, so they've added a few descriptions below. Let's take a look at these descriptions. We all know that the root bridge is chosen based on the smallest value, right? And then the composition of the root bridge, well, first of all, there's a parameter called the bridge ID. This parameter is made up of two things. One is the device's priority, and the other is the MAC address, right? Since there's no description of the priority, these four are the same type of switch, so their priorities are the same, and the links are also identical, so the priorities are the same. That means we can only compare the MAC addresses. So they provided the MAC addresses for these four. If we look at these four MAC addresses, the first group, 0C, this part of the parameter is the same, right? Then the next parts, 10 and 01, are different, right? These two are not the same, so which one is bigger and which one is smaller? These are hexadecimal numbers, right? Obviously, this one is bigger than 01, right? So we can eliminate these two options first. After eliminating these two, only the two in the middle are left. Now let's look at these two. Up to the 15th digit, they're the same. And then we compare the 22nd and 11th, this. These two are different, right? Yeah, 1A, this 1A. What is 1A in decimal? It's 26. And this 22, hexadecimal 22, is equal to 34 in decimal, right? Obviously, 26 is smaller, so the correct answer is to choose this one, choose SW3, which means choose C. Let me check the correct answer. Okay, it's C. Let's look at question 4. For question 4, it says the engineer needs to configure the LLDP protocol. And which of the following commands is described correctly? So to check the LLDP relationship, which description is correct? First of all, when it comes to this command, when we configure commands in Cisco, it's always done in the global configuration mode. Only option D is in the global configuration mode, right? For example, this one is in the line view, which is incorrect. This one is in the interface view, also incorrect. And this one is in the user view, which doesn't even have the necessary permissions. So that's wrong too. Wrong, 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 and D is correct. The correct answer, yes. All right, now for question 5. Question 5 is again about spanning tree election. Again, it's about spanning tree election. As I mentioned earlier, there are certain criteria. For the election of the root bridge is determined by comparing the bridge ID, right? The bridge ID consists of two things. One is the priority and the other is the mark. So between these two, which one is compared first? You first compare the priority. Then, if the priorities are the same, you compare the MAC address. Only if the priority can't determine the result do you look at the MAC address. So, looking at this diagram, this one is 32768, 32768, and this one is 3000, 3000. So obviously, these two are incorrect. These two can't be selected, right? After those two are ruled out, we eliminate them first. So we exclude S1 and S4 first. After that, we look at the MAC addresses. One is C and the other is B. B is definitely smaller than C, so the correct answer should be S2. S3 will not be selected as the root bridge. Let's check the correct answer. Choose 2, right? Choose B. All right, submit. All correct. If anyone wants to learn Cisco technologies or get access to Cisco question banks, please send me a private message or you can leave a comment below the video for technical discussions.